You get up and howl about America and democracy. There is no America. There is no democracy. We no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies. The world is a college of corporations, inexorably determined by the immutable bylaws of business. The world is a business. And I have chosen you to preach this evangel.
Thank you, America. You really showed me that my loss of faith in humanity should be given some careful reconsideration as you put up your hoodies and marched across this great nation of ours. I commend you. I'm proud of you. But I got a couple of questions, and I gotta ask them because it's burning me up inside. First of all, Baltimore. Where were you back in 2005 when my nephew Darryl Lee Smith Jr. was gunned down in Westport? He wasn't a corner kid, he wasn't a drug runner, and he wasn't a gang member. He was a star quarterback for his high school football team. He was a basketball tactician and a B-average student. He was a good kid. He was a good young man. A good young black man. So where were you, Baltimore? Because I didn't see you marching then. Washington, D.C. Where were you back in 2007 when my little cousin Eugene Joseph Jones III, also known as Trey, was senselessly gunned down? At only 16 years of age, this young man took on more responsibilities than most grown men ever do. Black, white, regardless of their ethnicities. He maintained his grades and had aspirations of becoming a firefighter, and somehow, week in and week out, he found and made the time to visit, check up, and check in on his grandmother. He wasn't a corner kid, he wasn't a drug runner, and he wasn't a gang member. He was a good kid, a good young man, a good young black man. Where were you, Washington, D.C.? Because I didn't see you marching back then. I'm asking the same question to everybody. Philly, New York, Atlanta, Houston, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Kansas City. Both Kansas cities. Chicago. Our young men are being stripped away from us one by one, and no one is marching for them. And don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to minimize the outpouring of emotional support for Trayvon Martin because it's necessary. It's just as much necessary as it is overdue. This is why I got my hood up, showing my support. But I'm just trying to wake some of you up. Our children aren't safe anywhere in this country. From the hood to Hollywood, they're being stripped away from us. And it's not some racistly raised, ethnically confused individual that's the one that's always taking them out. It's not a white man that's always the one that's taking them out. And it's not the police that's always the ones that's taking them out. Because more often than not, they're taken out by another one of our own children. So I say if we could put up our hoodies and march for a young man halfway across the continent that we've never seen, never known, and probably would have never knew about if we hadn't seen the newscast, then don't tell me we can't do the same thing for the young men in our own communities, damn it. I live in the state of Maryland, a state where every year the Ku Klux Klan marches through our capital, Annapolis, to preach their message. Well, when and where are our marches? What is our message? The motto, starships, money, cash, hoes, bling bling, niggas in Paris, throwback Jordans, I'm on one, or how about making it rain? Fuck out of here. We're what, 3 or 4 generations removed from some real marches that took to the streets of Selma, Washington, Manhasset, and Boston, and made a difference. You know, we're only 3 or 4 generations removed from some real protesters that shut down the public transportation system in the state of Alabama, as well as most of the known South at the time. So don't tell me we can't organize, come together, and do something for our children everywhere. Just like the president said, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin. So if I could look at Trayvon Martin as being my son, then I have to look at all of the victims of senseless violence as being my sons. I'm simply asking you to do the same. I'm asking you to get up, get out, and march for every young man that we've lost. I'm asking you to get up, get out, and march for every young man that we're losing. I'm asking you to get up, get out, and march for the young men that feel trapped, stifled, and castrated by the plethora of adversities invented by or circumstantially created by this great nation of ours. Is that too much to ask, America?
You know my CEO Masonic steez cheese. Only little people pay all these taxes and fees. Since you were born, we controlled what you watch and you read. And pretty soon we're gonna own the fucking air that you breathe. I take what I want, fucker, I don't have to say please. I convince you that it's good for you. Take it and leave. You think presidents are the face of a nation? I put them all where they are. End of the conversation.